people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new recent reads video. The first book on this list is called We Deserve Monuments. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so brilliant, and I would highly recommend it. First of all, for those who don't know, this book is a YA contemporary following a young, half-black, pansexual main character as she navigates a new romance as well as family secrets in a town that has a racist history. The story is absolutely so incredible, like I just said, because first of all, the writing is so lyrical and it was absolutely so beautiful. The romance was so well developed and it was so well paced. The friendships felt so authentic and so well done because the characters were so well developed and so distinct. The family dynamics felt so wholesome and angsty at the same time, if that makes any sense at all, and they just felt so authentic. Literally, this book is so good and it deserves all its hype and so much more because every single element was so well developed and the entire story is so well paced. The author's use of flashbacks were incorporated so well. I rated this book 5 out of 5 stars because there's literally nothing I would change about it, and it made me cry twice because I was so emotionally connected to the events as well as to the characters and the entire story. So anyway, with all that said, I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called A Wilderness of Stars. This book is a YA dystopian following a young teen astronomer who's looking for a message from the stars that's meant to cure everybody from an illness that's been cursing the land. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but this book was on the November TBR and I was so excited for it because I've rated 2 of the author's previous books in the past 4 stars, so I was expecting to enjoy this book a lot more than I actually did. First of all, I thought this book was going to be fantasy, or at least urban fantasy or magical realism, so I was quite disappointed when I discovered that it's actually dystopian, so I wish I could have lowered my expectations before I started reading it. Second of all, the world building was so lackluster, and it wasn't really immersive at all, and the story and the adventure had such low stakes attached to it. You know what I mean? That I wasn't really connected to the story or to the characters or anything like that I really wanted to be, if that makes any sense. The characters had the potential to be well developed and distinct, and the romance had the potential to be beautiful and pretty, but it just wasn't because I wasn't as immersed in the adventure or in the plot as I wanted to be, if that makes any sense. The plot initially was intriguing and it was mysterious or whatever, but as the story progressed, it started to become boring. You know what I mean? Anyway, all that to say, I didn't really enjoy this book that much. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars, and I definitely wouldn't recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Tea Dragon Society. This story is a middle-grade graphic novel that follows a young apprentice who gets involved in the world of tea dragons. I really enjoy this book, despite how short it is, because it is, if you didn't know, less than 100 pages. I believe it's exactly 76 pages, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I personally really enjoy this book because the illustrations were so pretty and so vibrant and really made the story so immersive, and I love that. The illustrations made the story come to life. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. I love the friendships so much. I love tea dragons. I mean, I love dragons always, but I love tea dragons, and I'm so intrigued by this world because literally it was so magical and so wonderful and so wholesome. The plot was so intriguing and so engaging. I'm so excited to read the sequels. I think I'll be reading them very soon. I will probably be talking about that in my next recent reads video. But anyway, the story was so good and it was so magical and it was so wholesome. So with all that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Measuring Up. This story is another middle-grade graphic novel that follows a young girl who recently moved from Taiwan to Seattle, and she's trying to fit in. This story was absolutely so fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. First of all, I love stories about immigrants. Maybe it's because both of my parents were immigrants or something. I don't know. I just love stories about characters trying to fit in. I know that part is relatable. But anyway, this story was so good. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. I'm so excited to read the sequel, which I think comes out in either May or July of next year. I'm not completely sure, but I'm so excited to read it because the story was so good. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. The family dynamics were so wonderful and so lovely. The friendships felt so wholesome. The plot was so engaging and so intriguing. The illustrations were so pretty and so beautiful. Literally, this book is so good because the author and the illustrator were both so talented and they worked so well together. Literally, this book is so good, and like I said, I'm so excited to continue the series and read the sequel whenever it releases next year. So with all that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I would highly, highly recommend it. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called Gilded. This book, if you didn't know, is a YA fantasy retelling of Rumpelstiltskin, and I really enjoyed it. Even though last year I actually DNF'd it. But you know, there's been a theme lately of giving books a second chance. And this book was so good and it was totally worth it. The world building is absolutely so mysterious and so intriguing. And honestly, it low-key reminded me of like Gallant. You know what I mean? Like that was a YA fantasy that I really enjoyed back in March, if you didn't know. But anyway, the world building was so intriguing and it was absolutely so engaging. The plot was so interesting. The world building is absolutely so immersive. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. The romance was so cute and so adorable and built on like actual authentic chemistry and connection. I'm so excited to read the sequel. I know it came out recently and I will be reading it very, very soon because this book was so good and it's absolutely worth all the hype and so much more. So with all that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars. I would highly, highly recommend it. So, in conclusion, the sun is about to set very, very soon, so I'm about to lose my natural light, so I apologize if it seems like I've been talking faster in this video than usual, but anyway, basically, my December reading month has been so good and so fruitful lately, which is so nice. I love that for me. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the banana emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!